Ideas All Day, a podcast where we, not experts, discuss our ideas and place them into piles, such as the good ideas pile, the bad ideas pile, and the ideas pile. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about ideas for post-apocalyptic society. And now let's do some intros. The person sauntering down the street, swinging her grappling hook in circles, Kate.
Hi, my cat just knocked over my grappling hook. That's what that loud bang was in the background.
He, who would be booing her the entire time she walked downtown, Alex.
Oh, that's 100% true.
Would you say I was making my way downtown?
Walking fast, swinging at a grappling hook.
Homebound.
Yes. And me, the person who'd be requesting jazz hands the entire time, Ajax. Hi.
We wouldn't know if there was something wrong with her hands, like if she was having like a spasm or a cramp, or if she was just being fabulous.
Mm-hmm. Unless she started doing asparagus fingers, then we know something's wrong.
Asparagus fingers.
What are asparagus fingers? So like a lesser jazz hand?
Depends on your definition of jazz hands and asparagus fingers.
Yeah, no.
Or is it, well, usually, jazz hands is like this, right? Oh. You could have asparagus finger jazz hands, but
so
still.
You're telling me asparagus fingers are more like spirit hands?
Spirit fingers, yes.
Spirit fingers. Mm-hmm. Very much of the spirit finger family.
Ooh, so spirit fingers used as opposed to asparagus fingers?
I think it's go ahead.
I was going to say, when it's asparagus fingers, it makes your pee smell.
I was going to say, I think asparagus fingers are like a low-key spirit fingers. So if the spirit hasn't moved you fully, you would do asparagus hands or asparagus fingers.
Makes me think of the Grinch.
Whereas, like, if the spirit moves you, those efforts are going.
What if you could have spirit fingers and some of your fingers on one hand and asparagus on the other? So some are really going crazy, but the others are like, just wiggling away, but not,
I'm still working on my ambidextrousness, so I feel like when I do spirit fingers, it is half asparagus fingers.
So you're already halfway there.
Yes.
Whoa.
One would say that I was existing through conversations with God.
That was beautiful.
Especially if he were one of us.
Just a Slav, perhaps?
Mayhaps.
Like one of us.
Like someone here.
Or a stranger.
I'm trying to stay away from the copyright strikes.
Oh, there's copyright strikes? Oh.
Yeah.
Hence the existing through talking with God. If you translate that into more popular music. If you get that, listeners, feel free to write it in the comments.
If you get that, you're probably old too. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a popular song. I think kids today would know it.
I don't think so.
Disagree. I'm dealing with 20-something-year-olds at work, and they don't know shit.
And you play that song in the bank, and then you just playing it.
My 20-year-old coworker, my new employee that I'm training, has just brought a new word to my lexicon, a new phrase. Up carrot. Up carrot is when you agree with someone, and it's supposedly like a Reddit thing. Why are you?
Oh, like an upvote.
Yes, but
okay.
They literally say up carrot to each other.
That's great.
I've never heard that, and
I didn't hear that until this person. So
I have to hear it's always fire or
lit. Yeah.
No. Lit's gone. Lit is out.
I liked lit.
Fire is in. If something is fire or extra, if you're being extra.
Oh, extra's been around forever.
Or they feel some sort of way about something. But they don't.
How's that?
What it is. It's basically when you're upset about something. That's all it really means. It makes me feel some sort of way. That's all it means. It just means
it makes
forever. Me feel some sort of way.
But that exact phrasing.
Yeah, no, that's been around for a while. I was aware of those phrases. Anywho.
Yeah, Kate, let's hear your ideas.
Okay, so I don't have much hope for a post-apocalyptic zombie existence. So for my first idea is like the far end of the pessimistic scale of things. And that's to be in like a nomadic culture where I'm just wandering around taking care of myself because all of my loved ones are dead. And I kind of don't want to belong to another group of people because I would be a low person on that totem pole. I have skills, but I don't think I would have the skills that would be like, oh, we definitely need her on our team. That would be really helpful to have Kate in our group. So, yeah, nomadic, living off the land, me and my trusty grappling hook and hammock, just surviving. So that's idea number 1. Idea number 2 goes to the other side of the spectrum. My brother is a Quaker. And one of the things that the Quaker community does is when they have to make a decision for the group, like what they're going to do as a group, how they want to have the community act, so on and so forth, they all have to agree on what they're going to do. If one person doesn't agree with what they're going to do, then they don't do it. And it sometimes can be daunting because you'll have a community of 40 people, 39 people want to build a hospital, but that 40th person just doesn't want a hospital. It can be very frustrating. But on the flip side, literally everybody's vote counts. Idea number 2, let's Quaker style up that post-apocalyptic wasteland. Idea number 3, this is probably the most realistic situation that's going to happen, is if the zombie apocalypse is global and worldwide and just decimates communities and the world, I think what's going to happen is you're going to have these tribal style communities where it's just these tight-knit communities basically taking care of themselves. And as the community grows, they might bump up against another community. And then they either have to come to an agreement with each other or it becomes like a turf war. And then it's almost like gang style. Do I like this idea? I think in the beginning, it'll be good because everybody's going to kind of be separated. People who are close to each other are probably going to form communities, but as the generations get bigger and as there's more children and as there's more space that's needed, that's when you're going to have something that's more resembling fights for land and resources and things like that.
So wait, was your idea number 3 gang style?
Tribal gang style.
Nice.
One of the benefits of that is each tribe or each gang can have their own choreographed musical number that they can bring to the dance battles to determine who wins this plot of land or this well or this grazing area for their cattle. And then my last idea is an idea that I think could possibly happen that I'm not excited for. And that's like a Mad Max style post-apocalyptic scenario where it's just basically kill or be killed. You either got to know people who will protect you or you got to protect yourself. And I would not fare well in this category. I feel bad when I kill bugs, let alone having to like kill someone for their boots or, oh, they have a cow, I want their cow. Murder, murder, murder. But yeah, those are my ideas for what I think's gonna happen post-apocalyptic zombie apocalypse. Out of the 4, I'm thinking my ideal situation would be Quaker style and tribal-ish, but possibilities, they can be endless.
So your 4th idea was Mad Max style.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my ideas.
Thanks, Kate.
No, thank you.
All right, Kate, on to your ideas. We're going to put those in quotation marks. They were something. So for your first idea of your nomadic culture, or more so just you being by yourself roaming around. I'm going to put this in the bad ideas pile for a couple reasons. First one, give yourself more credit. You said you wouldn't join up because you think you'd be the bottom of the ladder. You think you'd be low man on the totem pole, but you don't know that. You don't know what their needs are. Every group's a little bit different. They could be going, man, we really need someone who has a grappling hook all of a sudden. Now, mind you, that would never happen because they're useless. But if that's a skill that they don't have and they need, then yeah, you have value. So don't take away your own value.
My biggest fear is that my value will be determined as a baby maker. And I do not want to give birth in a post-apocalyptic zombie wasteland. So that's like another reason I kind of want to be nomadic, because I ain't popping out any kids without any
You've
hospitals.
got so many rules.
I do. Yeah. This is why I'm single.
You really do. But I'm just saying, if you're defining your own role, you got to give yourself more credit for your talents, where you could still define your own role or find the place that fits your talents, as it were. And other than that, it's more so because of since you're having such a dark and negative outlook for this particular idea, where you don't know, the society at the time may require more small groups, is all I'm saying. It's like to completely shut it out, almost put yourself at a disadvantage. Yes, you want to be by yourself because you're always in control. You don't have to look out that someone's going to stab you in the back or, take away your freedom. But at the same time, you're also by yourself if a group of raiders or someone else comes up to you too.
That's what the grappling hook's for.
No, it's not. It's not for that. So that's why it's going in the bad ideas pile. Number 2, Quaker style of group. I'm going to put this in the ideas pile because for the central idea you discussed that, you have 40 votes in your example and all 40 votes, it's got to be unanimous or not at all. I disagree with that because sometimes you could have that one person you really shouldn't be listening to. Then they're holding up everything because what they want is to carve all the pumpkins into squirrel shapes or something, and they refuse to do anything else. So I'm not saying that would always be the case, but there's going to be those examples. If everybody's vote counts, could be that one person that isn't doing it because it's for the best of the group. It's because it's what they want to do. And if they don't if they don't get their way, no one gets their way.
Kind of like this podcast.
Exactly. Wait, what? So it goes in the ideas pile because I'm sure they make really good oatmeal, and I like oatmeal because I'm old. So on to your third one, the tribal society. I'm going to put this idea as going towards bad, mostly because actually it was going to go into the bad ideas, but then you brought up the musical and the dancing and the choreography, in which case that's always going to get a plus for me.
I figure there's going to be a lot of time during the day. Might as well do something fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's your ritualistic turf war, like ceremony. And there's no violence. It's just you dance. It's a dance off essentially to see who controls what territory. How can I say no to that?
That's kind of like, the New Zealanders, the New Zealand tribes, the Maui. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Otherwise, I'm pronouncing it wrong. They had a reputation of being cannibals. And so like their little pre-war ritual was to do this dance. And to end it, they would stick out their tongue being like, we're going to eat you. So I'm kind of thinking like a modern version of that, where it's aggressive dancing.
But then you would actually eat somebody afterwards, just to change it up a little.
I'm trying not to be a cannibal. I mean, it's bad enough that I might have to like hurt and or kill someone to survive. So if I can avoid eating people, that'd be great.
Fair enough. So now I might have to reestablish it. Maybe it is going into the bad because you're not eating people. But I'm going to stick with my original grading. And then last but not least, your Mad Max style society. This immediately goes in the good ideas pile. I don't care if it's kill or be killed because we get to drive cool cars and shoot guns and then fight over gasoline in the desert. I mean, that's just cool. Have you seen the new Mad Max? It's a great movie. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? And you get to be or you're the guy with the guitar on the back of the truck.
If
oh
I
my
could
God,
be
that'd
the
be amazing.
guitar player in that, where I'm just shooting fire. Like, oh my God, it's like two of my favorite things: music and fire.
Exactly.
Like, that would be my perfect position in the Mad Max world.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, why is this? This is not bad. This is a positive. This is like living your best life. It's what we wish we could do now. But society keeps us down and laws force us not to chase people down with cars and put spikes all over it to run people over and then destroy their vehicles and then take their gas. I mean, society is really holding us back from achieving our perfect society.
That's true.
And those are my pilings for you.
Thank you, Alex.
Those are beautiful. All right, on to my pilings. For your first idea of the nomadic culture, I placed this into the good idea pile because eventually you might be like a living legend. You might be walking down, swinging your grappling hook as you walk down the street. People are like, oh my gosh, is that Kate? She's walking through her town now. You'll be like the Gandalf of the apocalyptic world. They'll be like, she's here?
Oh no, it's Crazy Kate with her grappling hook. Watch out.
And then Alex will always be there, be able to boo her as she's going through town. Like, he's going to be the stalker that's going to boo it.
And then I would rip off his face with my grappling hook, further ensuing my legend.
Or more likely, you just miss and it would land on the ground and it would look real awkward.
I just stand there and be like, I meant to do that. That was a warning, sir.
And usually I'm carrying around a pair of bolt cutters to cut the chain or rope off. And then it just leaves the grappling hook on the ground and you're just pulling the rope back.
I mean, if I were to be nomadic, carrying a grappling hook and a bolt cutter, I probably would bulk the hell up. That's for damn sure. So I would be a presence.
Nice. All right. So that was my first piling. Becoming a Quaker, I put this in the ideas pile because you have to find all those other people to be in that style of grouping with you. It might be harder to find like-minded folks in that way. I don't know. I have not ever really, found a group of people during a zombie apocalypse and asked them if they want to be Quakers.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily be becoming a Quaker, but it would be more so adapting that style of problem solving or coming to decisions. So I wouldn't be like, oh, you have to believe in God and Jesus and sit in silence and think about it.
Okay.
It's just more so like the whole community is in on decision making and such.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go in the ideas pile. For your third idea, tribal gang style, that's automatically going into the good idea pile because it's like the Jets and the Sharks. Yeah, so it's already got West Side Story vibes in it already. And why don't we solve more things by dance battles is my question. So then your fourth idea, Mad Max style. I put this in a good ideas pile too because that would be badass. Because like the clothes alone, get to wear all that leather.
It's not all leather.
That's what I'm imagining. Like Charlize Theron.
Was she wearing leather?
I don't know.
I'm
thinking
she wasn't.
too.
She didn't.
I know she was in it.
Yeah.
She did have a prosthetic arm though.
Yes.
She did?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. She was missing an arm. If you want to watch the movie, I have that and I do enjoy it deeply, especially because the stunt work in it is done exceedingly well.
Perfect. We should watch it. So those are my pilings.
Thanks, Ajax.
You're welcome.
Alex, why don't you go over your ideas for post-zombie apocalyptic civilizations?
All right. Well, my thought process before I start with my ideas is more about like coming into a time frame where the zombie threat isn't really a big threat anymore. It's like things have calmed down, whether the zombies have either been wiped out or very few of them left, or they're just not as big of a threat as they used to be when there were billions of people in the planet and now there's only millions. So that's where a lot of my ideas are kind of like centered around. So there's still zombies around, but they're not causing major outbreaks. They're just a nuisance.
Get off my lawn, zombie.
Exactly. So for my first idea is coming back where you want to have to do something that brings an idea of positivity and something to look forward to in this grim, dark, desolate wasteland of a society that we're living in right now. But you got to do something that's going to bring a smile to people's faces when they're just trying to survive. And that's what I'm saying, that we would introduce zombie football, where they would have an isolated football arena, but they would have two teams of zombies fighting over a real foot to see who can basically either get it across a certain spot or be the first one to eat the whole thing. Whatever comes first. So that way people have something to look forward to and they can bet on it. They can, it could be exciting. And if all else fails, it'd just be fun to watch zombies just playing with a foot. It'd be adorable. So that's idea number one. Idea number two actually stems from sometimes when you see in like these movies or post-apocalyptic stories that during a disaster, sometimes there's giant leaps in technology. Think like World War I and planes, going from biplanes all of a sudden to the Mustang in less than 10 years. Incredible leaps of technology. Now, what I'm thinking is all of a sudden someone in a European country or the US all of a sudden develops a way to create basically airships, and specifically creating cities made of these airships. So that basically during the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, people just pieced out, went into the clouds, and then basically were flying around the whole time in the clouds, not having to deal with zombies. And if something happened on there, they just push them off the edge. So that way, if it's solar powered or, and they've maybe brought some dirt so they could grow things and have just little isolated cities up in the sky away from the zombies. That's idea number two. Idea number three kind of takes a similar but opposite approach in terms of technologies. We would want to move backwards. You want to bring back feudal society, specifically like you want to have castles. You want to have a feudal lord who has serfs and peasants that work the land and they pay their feudal lord for protection. Because again, there's still threats out there. There's probably still raving raider bands. There's probably still some zombies out there and they want to be protected. And not to mention, you'd be surprised the amount of castles that are actually out there that you could kind of build little towns around. So that if something does happen, you bring all your citizens into the castle and wait out the siege or fight back if you can. And not to mention, it would fulfill my dream of one day becoming a princess, in a tower with my long flowing hair that I don't have.
Would you have like one of those cone type hats?
Yes, I would. With the
That'd
little,
be beautiful.
With the silk, with the silk that comes off the tip.
The silky tassel-y things.
Yes. Maybe with like playing a harp as well. Cause what else are you going to do?
Jeez, you've got big dreams.
I do. Well, you know what? Go big or go home. That's all I'm saying. And for my last idea is basically creating a group that creates a religion against modern technology. It's the very thing that probably or may have led to the creation of the zombie apocalypse in the first place. So gathering a group of people that just basically shun technology. We're not talking Quakers. We're talking a cult. We're talking worshiping a sun god, and basically anyone who even tries to use technology is a sinner and needs to be purged.
Amish.
I was just about to say.
Oh, no. The Amish don't purge people. The Amish ain't purging nobody.
Amish shun. They
shun. I didn't say shun. I said purge.
Like the purge?
Like the purge. Murder.
Well,
where if we see someone using technology,
Amish.
Murder. We get our bows and arrows. We get our sticks, we get our rocks, and we murder them. Because you know what? We don't want another zombie apocalypse. Technology brought us to the zombie apocalypse. Staying away from technology prevents it ever from happening again. And we get to murder people and take their stuff. And that's all I got.
Thanks, Alex. Ajax, why don't you pile Alex's ideas for us?
Alex, for your first idea of zombie football, but with a real foot and having the first to eat the whole thing. Of course, I find this is a good idea. I mean, I'd want to watch it. I mean, it might last only a couple minutes, so you better have a lot of different rounds of, you might have some extra feet.
Yep.
You might need some extra feet. And I don't know where you're getting the feet from, though.
Oh my God, I just had a better idea. 100% a better idea. Instead, have some like poor sap in a bowl with just their feet exposed at the bottom. So it's like being in those big bubbles, but they still run, so their feet are along the bottom, and they're running from the zombies, and both teams of zombies are trying to get it. Now, and it's still football. Football.
Now that there's a human attached to it. I didn't know how old were these feet?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, where'd they get the feet from? Are they
not,
like locally sourced feet?
Yeah, they're donated.
Vegan feet?
Yes.
Are they gluten free?
No, they can't be vegan feet because zombies don't eat vegans. Logic.
All right, yeah. I'm probably gonna be. It's probably not a good idea, but I'm still putting in the good idea pile. It's definitely probably not one, but I'm still putting it there because you said football. Like it was football, and you're eating the feet, and I thought that was clever, and that's why.
Hey, if it goes all the way to the end of the game and the ball still hasn't been eaten, the person there survives.
Exactly.
You know, hey, it's just as much a game for them as it is for the zombies.
It's an adrenaline rush. All right. So then for your second idea of airship creation cities, those are big ideas right there. And I don't know. I can never say it's not going to happen. And I feel like there's been sci-fi books written about this type of stuff. I'm sure there'll be like Hunger Games type societies that live there of some sort, which might be interesting to live in at least. I'll put in the ideas pile. It's an idea, depending on the type of air society that you get pushed out of and then die your falling death. If it's a good society, sure. I'll put in the ideas. Same thing with the bringing back feudal societies. I mean, that might just happen. So it's an idea. I don't know if it's good or bad.
But I get to be a princess. Don't take away my dreams.
Sorry, ideas leaning towards good because you're going to be a princess.
I'll be a pretty princess.
Be the type of princess that you want to be.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly.
I'm going to be a pretty princess.
And then for your fourth idea of creation of a cult against modern technology, when you said cult, I mean, of course I wanted to join it, and it sounds like a unique cause of going against modern technology. But what are the do's and stuff? Like what do you like? What do you have to do? What do you have to dedicate to this cult?
Well, it's a cult. You grow your own food. You go listen to the prophet. You worship the sun, and then if you see any non-believers or techno users, you murder them.
Okay, so your cult.
It's a small list of rules, but it's pretty strict.
Yours is pretty extreme. I like it if it was a little less extreme. I'll be in the neighboring cult, so I'm not going to put it in the good idea pile with that one. I'm just going to put it in if I'm going to be a neighboring cult and against you, I'll have to be like ideas leaning towards bad, because overall, like, I like it, but then if we're in separate cults because of our different viewpoints, I feel like I would have to say it was a bad idea. Well, but I'm not going full there, so I'm going to do ideas leaning towards bad.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, we wouldn't murder you as long as you're not using technology. That's all.
That's okay. Yeah, and I'm accepting your cult's beliefs. You can be a part of your cult. You can do what you want. Your people are living their lives to the fullest, and I support you. I just don't want to be a part of your cult.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's my piling.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kate, what are your pilings for Alex's ideas?
Alex, for your first idea, zombie football. Originally, this was going to be in the bad ideas pile. I had a lot of questions of where you were getting the feet. It's like kind of weird that you just be using feet, but I understood the whole football pun. And then you included a full human in one of those plastic balls with the feet hanging out.
God bubbles.
God bubbles. And then I thought, wow, that's a really bad idea too. But then I thought, what a wonderful way to execute someone. So this would actually go really well with your cult against technology. So because of that, I'm going to put in the ideas pile, because what a way to punish someone for using technology than the very thing they created due to their technology. So, ideas. Airship cities. When you originally were discussing your airship cities, this made me think of the Jetsons, how the Jetsons elevated their houses up from the ground because of the pollution below. And so they went above the pollution to live their lives. So if the technology was there and it was self-sustaining, I don't think this is a bad idea. I think this is actually would go in the good ideas pile, because while you're up in the air, you're leaving the earth alone. So you're not polluting the earth. You're letting vegetation come back. You're letting nature come back. And then we could reintroduce ourselves back into Mother Nature once all the zombies have died off. So yeah, good idea. Feudal societies. I like this idea specifically because one of my favorite feudal societies was that of the samurai. And you know what samurais used to use? Grappling hooks. So yes. So this goes in the good ideas pile.
I don't want it to be in the good ideas pile anymore.
Specifically because of the samurai grappling hook usage.
I hate that you took my idea and made it something awful.
Made it true to what it was, which was back to grappling hooks and how they're such an integral part of that society.
Why do you have to ruin all that is good and pure in the world?
And last but not least, coal against technology. This is going to go in the bad ideas pile, specifically because I have problems with cults. I don't like how most cults start off with good intentions, but in the end, it's all power grab. There's always usually one central figure who abuses those powers, and then it loses its actual meaning. So as a result, this is going in the bad ideas pile, but I think it would be kind of badass if they decided to purge the outliers through zombie football.
And you're 100% right about like basically devolving into a power-hungry society, because it's another society where I would get to be a princess. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm totally pro you becoming a princess.
Well, there you go.
I have no beef with you wanting to be I don't want to be a princess, so that works. There's no competing interest with me.
Is there any jobs as your princess? Like, what can I do when you're
worship? You worship the princess,
and I make decisions. Well, you still have to grow
usually
food.
The king and queen make decisions. The princess doesn't make decisions.
Oh.
I could be the one that I could be a murder princess. You don't know that. Or maybe we don't ever choose a king or queen, but merely a princess is at the top. The king and queen are someone who already ascended to the sainthood where they deserved, being with the sun god.
The sun god.
But yeah, bad ideas.
How dare you?
So those were my pilings.
Well, thank you, Kate, for your supposed pilings.
Thank you. Ajax, why don't you bestow upon us your ideas for apocalyptic zombie wasteland civilization thing?
Okay. So for my first idea, I'm imagining myself coming into like a suburban area, and where, you can walk into any house and you don't know what you're going to find. Sort of like In the Stand. Did you see that movie? Stephen King's The Stand?
It wasn't a movie. It was a miniseries.
Made for TV miniseries with Tim Daly.
Everybody.
With Rob Lowe was in it.
Patrick from SpongeBob was in it.
Oh man, that was a good movie. But so my first line of business would be start cleaning up. If I want to live in one of those houses there, it's going to be disgusting. There's going to be things running still. There'll be dead bodies. Well, if the power's still on, there might be dead bodies. There might be just everything in disarray. So I want to clean up everything first. I want to do a deep cleaning of just not the one house or like the neighborhood, but I want to clean all the things, make everything look less zombie-like. So my second idea is to have a barbecue, because if I'm showing up to this, suburban house just there, I would like to make some friends. So barbecues don't usually attract zombies. And especially I'm thinking about this in terms of like where, it's not too many zombies left. People are starting to like come back to reality. I want to have a barbecue and meet people. I feel like it's a nice gesture. I found some hot dogs laying on the ground, or I caught a rabbit, grilled up some bunny, or maybe there was a squash growing from years past. I can grill up a squash, especially for those vegans and vegetarians out there. Yeah, having a barbecue to make new friends. So number 3, I'd also like to bring back the power, because usually in this type of society, there isn't any electricity, because that was turned off a long time ago, because, the zombies ate the people monitoring the electric booths. So that was one of the first things that happened. It was probably a dramatic scene. I would like to go there and turn back on the electricity. I will help do that job. I'll be a part of the electric turn on team. So for my 4th idea is I'm going to want to make ice. I want to make ice because once the electricity is on, because I haven't had anything cold in a long period of time, and I really like cold beverages. Ice is very nice on a hot summer day. It can really be really refreshing. Also, if I could make ice, bag it, I might be able to sell ice too. So then other people can have cold bevies. It's also to make friends as well with ice cold friends. For my 5th idea, I would like to utilize the zombies to eventually make power. I would like to have a big ass hamster wheel and have all the zombies in the wheel to walk and make power using some sort of bait. I haven't figured out the system yet, but keep the zombies moving, keep the lights on. It might be an interesting way. Haven't tried it before. I might need an engineer for this one. Yes, I will need an engineer for this one. So if there's any engineers out there listening and you want to sketch up a hamster wheel for zombies to make power, please do. For my 6th idea, I would like to start a clothing line, because I feel like everybody is out there roaming the world in society. All their clothes are getting tattered and torn. Nobody is making clothes anymore. Everybody's just wandering, walking down the streets. It's rough out there. And I think people's clothes are probably taking a hit. Might be kind of holy. They might want some new digs, and I'd like to provide that for them. So I might want to start a clothing line. It can be fashionable and functional as well. If I could find Carhartt-ish material, because that would be a really good hammock.
Once again, we're not sponsored by Carhartt, but Carhartt, if you want to sponsor us, please contact us at ideasallday.podcast@gmail.com.
Thank you. And then for my 7th idea is to find an activity, because I feel like I'm going to get bored and I'm going to want to do things. So I'm going to need an activity. If there's a dance, if there's people that like to dance, I can hang out with them. If there's people that like to knit, I'll like to hang out with them. Find people and do things. And for my 8th idea is to learn apiculture, because I really like honey, and I would like to have honey and raise bees to make honey, because I think I'd be really sad if I missed honey. And that's my ideas.
Thanks, Ajax.
You're welcome.
Let me break down your ideas. Idea number 1, cleaning up where you're going to settle in. This is a good idea. You want to make sure you're living in something that's clean. If there's any dead bodies, you probably want to burn them. Gives you a sense of normalcy, gives you secure space. You get to really know the area. So yeah, good idea. Idea number 2, have a barbecue / make friends. This is going in the ideas pile. Just from my perspective on how I tackled this topic, I'm not really keen on making new acquaintances, but I can see why you would want to make new acquaintances. Support group, especially if you're in a suburban area, you're going to be near other people, so you're going to have to interact with other people. So it's probably best to make a good impression, start off on the right foot. You also can showcase your skills, especially if you're grabbing bunnies and skinning them and cooking them, and you have squash. You're showing that you're open-minded to other people's needs and that you are able to take care of yourself and others. So ideas pile leaning towards good. Idea number 3, bring back the power. I'm putting this in the ideas pile leaning towards bad, just because you make it sound like you're just switching on a light switch and the power will come back. There's a lot more to restoring power than that. The power has to come from somewhere. It's usually not that easy to just turn it on, But a subcategory, you stated that you wanted to be on the electric turn-on team. And the electric turn-on team sounds like a early 90s dance troupe or like a early 90s band. So for electric turn-on team, that's going in the good ideas pile. I want to be a part of that team. Nice. I want shirts made.
Nice.
I want to learn the dance moves for the electric turn-on team.
Nice. Good. I got another member.
Yes. Idea number 4, ice, making ice. Once again, this is going in the ideas pile, leaning towards bad, because this depends on your ability to have power. So if you don't have a freezer powered and you think you're just going to be able to turn on the power by flicking a switch, it's not going to be that easy. So ice, is it a necessity? Not necessarily, but if you're going to be in a community where you are hunting and you are storing food, ice is very good for preserving stuff. So ideas leaning towards bad. Utilizing zombies for power. A zombie hamster wheel. This is going in the bad ideas pile. Zombies are not going to be an infinite source. Therefore, I feel like creating a hamster wheel specifically for that would be a waste of time and resources. Whereas if you're able to create a hamster wheel that generates power, like take turns. You humans could run the power generator, but messing with zombies, no. Anything that gives you interaction with the zombie that could go bad, no. Clothing line, bad idea. I feel like if everybody stopped buying clothes today, we would have enough clothes to probably last us our lifetime. I feel like there's other things that require more attention than just creating new clothes. So yeah, bad idea. Finding an activity. A good idea, but like there should be plenty for you to do. You're creating zombie hamster wheels, you're making clothing, you're turning on power, you're starting a new dance troupe, the electric turn-on team. Like, you're gonna have a problem finding any activities. And then 8, beekeeper culture. Yeah, this is a good idea. If you can find a way to create a resource such as honey, I mean, it's free. You're just keeping the bees happy. So that's a good idea. But those are my pilings.
Thanks, Kate.
Well, I guess it's my turn to go next.
Yeah, Alex.
All right, Ajax, for your first idea of finding the house and cleaning it up. This idea goes straight in the bad ideas pile. Number 1, cleaning up, that's work. Work is hard. I prefer a separate method of just burning it down and starting fresh, because fire is fun.
But then how are you going to build a new house?
Rebuilding is work.
You prop a couple boards that you tore off maybe against a tree. You got a house. You're good. And no cleaning. And then when that gets too dirty, you burn it down. And then you move on to the next house that you burn down. And then plant stuff from it against a tree. It's a vicious cycle that's not a lot of work. And there's a lot of fire.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Nope, not in my head. In my head, there's marshmallows, there's dancing.
Would you say that in your head, there might be zombies?
Well, I mean, don't we all have little zombies in our head at some point?
Zombies. A.
Now that I've ignored that, on to your second idea, having a barbecue to make friends. I'm gonna put this in the ideas pile because yes, as part of it would be if you want to attract people to the area, or that hopefully you can show I can provide food. There's shelter. I want you to join my little society and community. Cool. Then you have the other half where it's like, hey, they've got food and they're bringing people in. Let's rob and kill them. So it's a 50-50 shot. Or they'll come in as friends, then rob and murder you. I appreciate the effort, and that's what matters. So ideas pile for that.
Perfect. Thanks. Worth it.
Now, for your next idea of bringing back the electricity, I'm of two minds of this because obviously technology is bad, but at the same time, you brought up the hamster wheel before, which I love that idea. That's a good idea in my book. Any use of the zombies in a positive way involving hamster wheels is a good idea for me. So in that vein, has to also make this other idea at least kind of leaning towards good. I can't put in the good ideas pile because it's bringing back evil technology. But the fact that there's a hamster wheel full of zombies just running around, if there wasn't electricity and just the hamster wheel and them running in it, even better.
You wouldn't need to have the electric. You've got mechanical energy going into becoming electric energy.
Yeah, but it's still technology. And that's the problem.
It is.
It is a problem. So on to your next idea of making ice. That's a good idea because you can do it without electricity. People have done it for a long time. And then you basically just hoard it during the wintertime after you cut it off the lake, store it in basements, covered in straw. People have been doing it for ages. So you don't need technology for that. Just need good thermodynamics. And you can use it to make drinks and store food. So good idea for me. On to your sixth idea of starting a clothing line. Why? Why are you doing this? Like, I understand your mentality with this, yes. Like, but starting a clothing line versus like just learning how to sew or developing that technique.
No, I learned that already.
No, you want to start a post-apocalyptic clothing line. No. I mean, is clothing necessary? Yes, which is why it's not going in the bad ideas pile, but it's ideas leaning towards bad because, come on, clothing line, seriously? Your seventh idea, planning activities. I'm going to put this ideas going towards good because Kate is right. There is better things you should be doing with your time, but it is important for your own mental health to have things that are enjoyable and fun to do. Especially in a post-apocalyptic, you've just gone through the worst event in human history, and to not have anything to at least take some time to enjoy life a little bit while trying to rebuild society isn't healthy. If all you do is work, you're just going to burn yourself out. So planning activities, again, there's better things you should be doing. And for your last idea, basically bees. I love this idea. Bees are great. Bees are great. Good idea because not only do you get honey, you can use it to make alcohol, and you can execute people that bring technology into your society in a very horrific manner, like what happened with Nicolas Cage.
That's probably very uncomfortable.
Very, but they're bees, and bees are cool.
Yeah,
not the bees.
Thank you for your pilings, Alex.
Oh, you're welcome.
We should thank our listeners.
Thank you, our listeners.
Thank you for listening to us today, everybody.
You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, Sirius Radio. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram account. So if you want to send us any drawings or photos of any of the ideas that we have talked of or any of your ideas for a post-apocalyptic civilization after zombies, please go ahead and do that. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Braids.
Bye-bye.
Bye.